Hey, my name's Taylor Barkley, and I'm going to be telling y'all a little bit about Absalom Jones and his writing, The Petition of the People of Color. And I'm going to start off by telling you about a little bit about his background, his life, and also then get into the Petition of the People of Color. Absalom was born November 7th, 1746 in Delaware. He was born into slavery. His mother and family were sold, and he was taken to Philadelphia by his owner, um, and where he became a merchant, and he was able to earn money, and he taught himself how to read with the New Testament, which is very vital later on in his life. But while he was enslaved, he did marry Mary King, and once he raised enough money, he paid for her freedom, and he finally bought his freedom in 1784. And then we're going to talk about a little bit about his church life and what he did with the church. So he was the first African American licensed to preach by his church. However, when Jones, along with other African Americans, began to become more their attendance became bigger at the church, the church began to ask them to leave and would put them at the very top of the balcony, and they would have to leave after they prayed at the front. So then Jones became one of the founders of the FAS, which was the Free African Society, and it helped newly freed slaves. This was a big part of Jones's life, and he also began to do sermons at the FAS. The first African church in Philadelphia, which was called of St. Thomas, opened doors on July 17th, 1794, and Jones had a big part of that along with others. Now we're going to talk about the Petition of the People of Color, which was in 1799, and it was addressed to the President, Senate, and House of Representatives. It was signed by Absalom Jones and 73 others. Within the petition, Jones stated many things from the Bill of Rights and the Declaration of Congress. And I'm just going to read one of the, from our book, one of the lines. It says, in the Constitution and the Fugitive Bill, no mention is made of black people or slaves. Therefore, if the Bill of Rights or the Declaration of Congress are of validity, we beseech. And that is saying that within the Bill of Rights and the Congress, it doesn't have any mention of slaves at all. So, why is it a thing? And the Petition of the People of Color was mainly to end African slave trade, because he also states in here, we do not ask for an immediate emancipation of all. So he knows that it can't happen all at once, but he's hoping little by little this will help. It also speaks of the Fugitive Slave Act in 1793, which was if runaway slaves were found, they could be taken back to their owner. And in return, many free African Americans were enslaved without possible appeal to this law, because they would just catch them and take them to an owner even if they were already free. And then after the Petition of the People of Color, he then gave out a sermon called the Thanksgiving Sermon. It's very famous. You can look it up on YouTube. That's what I did. And it celebrates the official end of the slave trade. And it was kind of his church and his way of celebrating it and it being over. However, slavery was not abolished until 1865. So you can tell that the main focus of the Petition of People of Color was slave trade, and he even stated that, we don't expect immediate action. And overall, I think the reason that this was put in the book in this section of reform is because he was trying to make a change, he was trying to make a difference, and he really helped free a lot of African Americans and stop the slave trade, and I think he's very inspirational, and he did a lot in his life to get free for himself, so he's trying to help other people. So I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit about Absalom Jones and the petition of the people of color, and I hope you learned a little more today. So thank you, and hope you enjoyed.